Good morning, folks. We are here at Amazing Grace World Fellowship Church to start the install. We got Pastor Wimbush right here, and we're getting ready to get inside, bring everything in, and we get to work. So let's go. All right, so we brought everything in. This is just round one. We got some more stuff up here, and I want to get the mount and all that stuff done so that when we bring the TV here, when my brother-in-law helps me, it's literally just going to be like, boom, it's up on the rack, boom, we're done. So we need to find where we're going to run the cables inside the walls to make it very easy. There is a outlet right there. So depending on how it is, we may have to run it up, extend it. I'm not sure, but just moving this out of the way. And I want to get the easy stuff done, which is mainly going to be setting up the sound system, the snake, and the computer and everything up here. So this is more than enough space. Once we probably set the computer right here, joystick and all this other stuff here, we do have this rack that a lot of this stuff is not going to be needed. I mean, we can leave this here, this, and the amps need to stay because we're just moving everything in what they got. But anyway, let's go ahead, and we don't really have to mark this off because we're going to be doing everything, but I'm going to take a photo of what we got so far, and we can just mimic that when we move the board up here. All right, so I've disassembled the stuff here in the front and kind of moved it out of the way. But these are passive speakers here, the ones on the floor, not the ones on the wall. And I need to see how those are routed because we might not need these. But if they plan on using these I believe are routed all the way back because these passive speakers need an amp, and that's what that was providing right there. So we can't connect the S16 directly. You need to have one of the outs go into the amp, then the amp sends power and the signal to the speakers. So I'm gonna hold off on this right now because I need to see where those are. And I think that's what that rack is back here. I mean, the amp on the rack here. So what I'm going to do is disconnect, because we should have, so those are the outs. These are most likely going to those down there. But we're going to pull this out, unplug all this, put the X32 up here, plug it up, and then see where we go and test those speakers. All right, after cleaning out a lot of stuff that was behind here, I'm trying to connect this to the cable that's going up under the floor, which I was assuming is the speaker cable to the ones on the wall, but I am not getting anything. And this snake does not have what I would guess would be like an input, unless it's the white ones, which I don't believe it is, because that says that's an input 9, 8, and 10. So I don't know. Let's see what we can do, because I'm playing my music through my phone right now. Nothing is coming through here. I think I have my toner that I can put on different types of cables to see what that is. But see, that's there. That has to go somewhere. Just got to figure out where that actually is, and then we can get some sound. That cable is just hanging. That's just all up behind the drums, and that's not plugged into anything. All right, let's grab this and run it back. Let's see if we can get some sound from here. And then all else fails, we're just gonna call. Oh, that hit me in the back. Backed into that. Just call Pastor Wimbush and ask what's going on with the speakers, or is that the reason why they're using these, because those on the wall are dead. Either way, actually, let me do that, because the cables for the speakers on the floor are long enough. Let's run this back and see if we get some audio that way. Alrighty, I was able to get audio from the two on the floor. Still ain't able to get anything from the ones on the wall, so I don't know about that, but I'll give it for half a second so I don't get hit with this song. Alright, so we got sound coming through here. Alright, so with that being said, instead of having these cables all up on the floor, and this seems like it's commercial carpet, so that other cable holder that I have at the house, I might actually use that or get another roll of it to cover the snake. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook the snake up right now, and I will most likely drop that to here or drop it up under here, because it looks like there's a hole there. I just don't know if there's an access door to get up under here, and it is not, at least not on this side. Yeah, I don't know how to get up under there. Might not be possible, but let's go ahead and run the Ethercon cable, and then the intention is to move that amp up here, and I'm probably gonna have to get another rolling rack, so that way I can put this in there, the amp, that wireless receiver for the mics. Yeah, and those cables are somewhere, because that's where that snake has to be, up under here, under the floor somewhere. But anyway, we're gonna put that rack up here somewhere. But let's go ahead and connect this and then get this powered up, configured. We start plugging in some stuff, and then I'll set the computer back there. Alrighty, so we got everything configured, but what I'm gonna propose to Pastor Wimbush is to add another amp and maybe even replace that one, because right now it only has two outputs, and the other type of outputs we don't have a jack for. I mean, could I make one? Yeah, don't want to go that route. Want to make it pretty straightforward for them, and in this setup we're not going to be able to turn this around and have these being unique type of wedges for them. And we got all of this. Here's the snake here. So that other, so that's from here. Anyway, my whole point is just the way it's wired, we're not going to be able to have multiple mixes. All of them would be the same, because it only, I mean, I could make two. Let me take that back. I could split this out and do a Y out, a 1/4 inch single to a Y, and then I can put this, and then I can have another channel, and then I could run that to there. I could do that. Personally, what I would like to do is not to put all of that on here, and have enough to support all of the speakers here. So another amp is not that expensive, but we'll put that there as an option. But what we're going to focus on right now is, as best as we can, start setting up the computer and all this other stuff, set up the internet, extend the internet back down this way, and run it tentatively here. And it looks like there is a route up under the church. I don't know how to get there. We have to walk around, but they lock me in, so I need to make sure these doors are pried open so I don't get locked in here. But we want to run an internet connection back there so that the router and everything will be back there now instead of here. Now, worst case scenario, what would happen is extend this coax, and that's probably what I'll do. Extend the coax all the way to the back, and most likely this coax is outside, and then I could do that. Let's try to figure out why they got the fiber here. So why is Comcast here too? That's strange. They have Comcast and this. And that's connected to a computer out here. This yellow line. Yeah, that's going to the laptop there. So that must be internet. Oh well, let me prop this door open and let me see if we can find where that is. And worst case, what I would do is see, because there's a vent right there. So there's ductwork there. If I come right in front of there where that chair is, we can punch through, have the stuff there, and put a jack there. And it's right there, but it is locked. So we won't be able to do that right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to tentatively run a cable back here. And I forgot to get the PoE switch. I was using the PoE switch that's going to be here. I was using that at Abundant Life temporarily to test out the cameras, because their PoE switch is going to move when they move into the other part of the sanctuary that we're doing work on. I forgot to grab that because I meant to go to Abundant Life to get some. We just adjusted, we work with it. So what I'm going to do now instead, I'm still going to run a cable over here, hook up the Wi-Fi, put an access point in the front just temporarily, and then mount the cameras in their locations. Definitely going to move this clock, put it completely center so it can get here, and then we work from there. Alrighty, so we got some stuff tentatively set up. We got the Dream Machine router set up. I ran a line there, back there, and it looks like there is a hole in the floor, but like I said, the crawl space is locked. The intention would be, if I can run that here, I'd do the same thing with the snake and avoid any cables at all. I know it has to be there because that's how the current snake is being ran. So anyway, I hadn't done the camera yet because I ended up setting up the computer. So I'm gonna finish setting that up, the ATEM and all this other stuff, make a few connections, get an internet connection to the computer, then we'll focus on here because I'm actually out of Ethernet cable. I have a brand new box, but I had these two boxes left and I want to use that up. That white was enough to go all the way back, and then that's all I have for the blue. So this will probably be enough for like the X32, the ATEM, the computer, and the stuff that needs to always have an internet connection. And then when I pick up the PoE switch to bring that back over here, then we'll run new cables for that camera and the one in the back. And that Dream router actually has a PoE switch built into it. Two of the ports are PoE. So if you can see right there, those two on the bottom. So the other access point that we're going to be mounting in the front, that's how that one is going to be connected. So I don't have to worry about a PoE injector or anything like that. But yeah, let's get the monitors. I lost train of thought there for half a second. Alrighty, we've made some very good progress. I still need to make a Ethernet cable for the computer. I think I got one already made in the car. I need to connect this as well. We got the rack set up. That's where all my connections are gonna go for the cameras, just to make them all nice and pretty. Need to find a place for the Dream router as well. But what I need to do now is, they already had these super long HDMI cables that I'm assuming are going to the projectors. I actually have them hooked up to our splitter right there. I already have them set up in my splitter right there. I just need to run another cable from here down to that and then power those on to see if we get an image. If we don't, because I looked at it, they said that they're actually 1080p supported projectors. If they don't, that is the reason why we have this up-down cross HD that can scale it down to whatever the resolution actually is. So let me get, there it is, an HDMI cable that's long enough, and then I need to find the remotes to turn these on and see if we get an image. Alrighty, a converter is not needed. Boom. Not knowing what's going on with this one. Let me just make sure the cable is seated properly. But if not, we might have to order another cable to run that distance. So let me reach down there and get that red cable. All right, I put it in a different jack, and there we go. So yay. All right, now as much as I was getting ready to say, let me finally put this camera up here, but then I'm like, let me make these cables. Get that done, because I already got the stuff here. Let me just go ahead and make them with this extra blue cable I got. Alrighty, I temporarily hooked up the camera, and there we go. We got an image here, and all the other good stuff. We've set this to 201. The joystick is going to be 200. The camera in the front is going to be 202. So what I think I'm going to do is mount the other camera, and again, I'm trying to do everything I possibly can before I have to go into the attic. So what I might do is mount the camera, but then also, since I have this pulled back, we're going to put the TV mount on the wall. So I want to get as close to this outlet as possible to avoid me having to move it. But it looks like there's a stud here on the left side there. So I think I'm going to put the TV right about, I'm going to put the mount about right here. So let me get my stud finder, find this. We put our mounts. Let me take this down and move this. And we'll put the mount up. Alrighty, I got the mount there. We could move it up if need be, but again, just like before, we have chandeliers, and it's gonna sit, the TV, normally the base is at the bottom, so the TV is gonna sit high. So we should be fine from there. Trying to think, the next thing is, we still got the other camera to put up there and find a location where we're gonna do that. And then really after that is mainly running the cables in the ceiling, coming back there. And I was going to say I was going to return this, but I'll probably keep this because I want to put that mount. I want to put a rack to hold this. So I'll probably get a 6U, because that's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Get a 6U on a rolling mount, and then that would live up here somewhere. But I think we're doing really good. Because at this point, really what's left is running the cables. And to be quite honest, since there's a crawl space, I would almost want to go down into the crawl space to run these cables. That would make it a lot cleaner, because it wouldn't matter. We run down, run over here, and come up, because there's already a hole where the original snake was. Here might be a problem. I would love to just be able to run a piece of conduit down to the top of that door, wrap it around, and then come around. That would be easier, but we'll see. But again, we've made good progress. Once I hang the camera, that's really what I was hoping to accomplish today, outside of, we also need to put the access point for this side of the building, of the church, because the Dream Router has an access point on it. We'll put another one up here, and really need to find where the cable goes here, but we'll see. So that's technically what we're going to do. Worst case scenario, I'll actually just, I don't know, like put it over here or somewhere. but doing good, doing good. All right, so I was getting ready to think about the placement of this, but got to give thought of what we've talked about before. So I'm thinking about placing it on this wall, getting away from the screen so it won't block anything. So we can get a shot here. We won't be able to get the organ from here. But the premise of doing this, if we turn this way and we're high enough, we can get inside the baptismal pool. I mean, that the back camera will be able to do that as well too, but this would give a shot. So if anybody's here, their heads won't block the way. So I'm thinking right here, because since the drums and the piano is over there, it's only enough space for one person over there on the organ. So this will give me a shot, will give them a shot from here, and it'll give access to here if you need a secondary shot to get inside the baptismal pool. Because if we go pretty high, we'll be able to look down in there. So that's what we're going to do. Alrighty, so we got the joystick configured to control the camera. So if I zoom in here, as you can see, got all that going on. So yay. What else? I got the camera up there mounted. We have our switch to streamline turning everything on right there. We're gonna put another shelf under here. That's where our PoE switch is gonna live, and that's how all of this is gonna be connected. We're gonna run our connections into this for the ATEM, the cameras. We'll put the X32 on there as well too. So I need to move the plug to this, plug this into there, so that they have to still shut this down properly, put it in shutdown mode, then hit the power. That will turn everything off. So we'll simplify that. I am going to take a little gander upstairs in the attic so I can see what I'm working with. And you never know, I might even just walk all the way down there if I got the time. Not that I got the time, but you know what I mean, to get up there and see, because we have to run 2 Ethernet cables, one for the PoE, not for the PoE, for the access point. That is probably going to live over here since I'm already going to do a cable over here. And then we'll also do another Ethernet cable for the front camera, the fiber optic HDMI there. And those are the only runs I really have to do all the way back there. So, and then I need to find out about placing the cable for the TV and then running that and seeing if that's hollow and all that other good stuff. So let me move the ladder, get my headlamp, and let's go do some CSAA Ministry. Alrighty, so we're up here and there are the cables for the projectors. So pretty clear path. And I'm gonna get up here and find out where that's going, and then we can fish our cables in reverse to the camera that's going to be right there, the back wall, and the TV is over there. So we should be able to find that fairly easily. And it does look pretty hollow. I need to get a little bit closer, see if there's a seal plate, or we have to drill through there to get the cable down there. Alrighty, we got a slight problem. They sealed this off, so they just punched the wires through here. Wonder if I can just open it up, and there's no other door access on this side, so there has to be another entry on the other side of here. If not, we're gonna have to punch through, or at least take this down so that this can come off and we can get back in there. So let me turn back around and mark where I'm walking so that we don't go through the ceiling. All right, it looks like the hole that they ran for the projector HDMI cables is actually big enough for the 4 cables, no, 5 cables I would have to run. 2 fiber optic HDMI, 3 fiber optic HDMI, excuse me, and 2 Ethernet cables. So we should be good. I just need to find out how to get through that other side there. And I'll come back up here, fish a Ethernet cable down there. I think I got one that's long enough. I can use that as my pull string. So, and then we'll go from there. And then we're gonna put a pass-through plate so we can run all our cables through the behind the PTZ as well as the TV. All right, we found the other entrance. It's in the pastor's office, so isn't bad because I'm right on the other side of the wall where that camera's gonna be. So tomorrow I'm gonna put a plate on. The stud is actually right on this side, so if I come over here I'll be fine. Put the plate there, or I can just open up a hole right there and not have to worry about a plate and pass the cables right through the hole in between that bracket and run them up. Find that here and then go from there, because I mean that should be pretty straightforward. You got 2 Ethernet cables, and I messed up because it's 3 HDMI cables and 3 Ethernet cables, because it's going to be Ethernet for the camera, Ethernet for the access point, Ethernet cable from there, and then fiber optic HDMI for the camera, that's 2, and TV. So it's a total of 6 cables. Now, the projector cable, that red one is pretty tight. The blue has a lot of slack in there. So I might think about replacing those cables with fiber optic HDMIs completely, and then don't have to worry about it. But they did have this little panel that was cut open, and the cables, the HDMI cables, are actually right there. So I'll have a place to grab these. I have a push rod. I'm actually going to push that through there right now, and then I might be able to just pull some cables right now to get it over with. But we're actually making very, very good time. I need to take a couple of cables to make an Ethernet cable for the X32, one for the ATEM, and for the joystick, and I'm gonna hook that up into the patch panel so that when everything turns on, everything gets internet, because there's no reason why the cameras and stuff like that need to have internet access unless the whole system is on. So that's the mindset. They come back here, flip that one switch, turns everything on. We're gonna keep that rack. I need to order a new rack, possibly another amp, or I need to find, let me show you, make kind of an extension kind of like this, which looks pretty straightforward to do, so that I can have some outs, and then that would give us some more outs for the floor monitors. Then we don't have to worry about buying anything. So just not a new amp, that is. I still need to get a rack to put all of this in and make sure that's actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll probably get another power switch, so that'll be 6. So we use up all 6 of those. Put everything in there. Doesn't leave us any room for the rack, for the mics. But technically, this could move in the back. But we have to see. If I do that, I might as well get a 9U rack, and then I can put everything in there. I think I'll probably do that. Get a 9U rack, 2 more 100-foot fiber optic HDMI cables. They didn't pay for me to do that, but I don't like leaving something in here that I can see a potential problem. But anyway, let me get my push rod, push that through there, see if we can get that, and then at least have our journey for getting all our cables pulled pretty soon.